Alright guys, today I got a 2018 Volkswagen Atlas. This is a 3.6 V6 engine, and I'll show you how to replace the passenger side motor mount. So this is where the motor mount is located, on the right side of the vehicle. So we got a 30mm bolt right here. We got a 16, I believe, 16mm bolt right here, and on the other side as well. And then we got the two 18s, and pretty much that's all it takes to get to this motor mount. So that's my setup right there. You can see the jack and the block of wood resting on the oil pan so that we don't punch it. So this is just to get the weight off the engine as we take the bolts out. So we'll start by raising the jack up a little bit, just like so. And then on top we'll start with the 18mm bolts, using my stubby Milwaukee and the extension and the 18mm socket right there. Move a little bit. So right now we are going to take the two 16mm bolts, one on each side, one this side and one on the other side. So for this side we're going to use a short 16mm socket because of the AC line which is in the way. So the long one will get stuck once you pull the bolt out, so the short one will give us enough room to actually take the bolt out. Now we'll switch to this bolt right here. We're going to use a 30mm socket with the Milwaukee stubby, which is this setup right here. Since we got all the bolts out, so right now we are going to create room for the motor mount. So we are going to take this coolant hose from the plastic clip right there. We're going to disconnect the coolant level sensor right there. We're going to take the coolant reservoir off the way, and then there's the AC line right there which is going to block the mount. We're going to take that clamp off right there so that this line can move, and then we'll have a way to get this mount out. So we got the coolant temperature level sensor disconnected, the coolant reservoir off the way. Just locks in there, that's where it sits. And then we got this clamp off. All you have to do is just press from the bottom and then it will come off just like so. And then you have to actually take this other clamp right here. So now this hose, I believe, should move up a little bit, and then we'll have this mount to come off. So with everything off the way, you just have to wiggle this mount off, just play around with it nicely, and it should come off just like so. And this is the one right here. Alright guys, so I got the two mounts side to side. This is the one we took out of the vehicle. You can see this one has collapsed. You can see the gap in between right there. And then look at the new one, there's no gap in there. So this one has collapsed, and that's why we are actually replacing it. So I'll go ahead and install the new one. Pretty much it's the reverse way, and then that's the part number right there. I'm using the OEM part from Volkswagen. So let me go ahead and do that, and then I'll bring you guys back. So to center these two bolts, I'm gonna move the engine, so that's gonna be the setup right now. So let me figure out a better angle so that you're able to see what will be going on. Alright guys, so you can see the mount is back on. We got the new one on the vehicle, and then we got the old one right there. So pretty much that's all it takes. What's remaining right now is putting back the coolant reservoir at its spot, plug in your sensor, plug in your AC line at that spot right there, route your coolant line and put it where it's supposed to be, and also lock the AC line right there. Hope you like the video. I appreciate you taking the time to watch. Thank you for watching one more time. You know what to do next. Hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment, and we'll see you on the next one.